Well, hello everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCalSabre here. How you all doing? This is Talking About number 14. And last month we had 13 and nobody showed up, so I stopped after about 10 minutes. I didn't really talk about anything, but I will talk about a few things today. Hope that somebody might see it on the replay if they're not on today. I don't know where all of the people went. I don't know. That goes to a lot of things in the channel. This is kind of strange. When I don't think I've, they've got somebody up there watching. I don't think there are any creators that don't look at the analytics. It's like, okay, it's like a report card of how am I doing in that. Well, in the last month has been kind of strange because like for 4 or 5 months prior to the last month, the channel's averaged about 380 watch hours per month. And this month it's down to 250. That's a big drop. I don't know. Kind of says, okay, I'm not doing anything very good then. People are leaving or not coming back. Nobody's been coming to the live sessions either. I wonder what everybody's been doing. So drop me a line. Drop me some puts in the remarks down there. When you're watching this later, if you like this, go down there and hit the like button. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and help it grow. Keep it going better. Well, let's see. What can I talk about? Well, hey, J2 Wiltz, glad to see you. You're the only one on board today. Maybe somebody will join us later. How you been doing? Yeah, J2 Wiltz is up. Check him out there and subscribe if you know. So I think he's getting close to 1,000 subscribers and help him out over there. Well, anyway, Superstar Baseball we're doing. We got 20 teams in this season. All the teams have played 28 or 29 games. Oh, Dyson Men, hey, how you doing out there? Good to see you. And there's only 1 or 2 games left for each team. We got out of the 20 teams, we have 15 games still in competition. Oh, okay. J2 Wiltz is one of the Strat guys. He's going to playing Strat again. I haven't played Strat for a while. Any of them, and I have Strat basketball, Strat football. Do I have Strat? Yeah, Strat football. I have Strat baseball and hockey, and I haven't played any of them recently. So, yeah, I should probably dig one of those out there too. What do I got on the board going right now? Well, I'm doing a little mind refresher for Pine Tar Baseball, which I have not played in quite a while. So I did have to do a little refresher to get that back in my mind. And I also have, Hockey Bones is ready to do some more. And Season Ticket Baseball is waiting for us a little term. The one big learning job that I got going on right now is I wanted to do this for over a year or so. I finally got one of the Multi-Man Publishing's great campaigns of the American Civil War game out. It's Hood Strikes North. I've got it punched, and I got it sorted and clipped, and now I'm in the process of reading those rules and watching videos and trying to learn. I wanted to get MMP's game on my table for about a couple of years now. I finally got one of my tables, and pretty soon I'll be able to put it up and start doing a playthrough. I don't know if I'll be able to do a demo. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but if I can, I'll show you on that one. If you're interested in learning about the GCACW games, there's I think it's called Patrick's Tutorials or Tactics and Tutorials on YouTube, and he plays a lot of GCACW, and he's also got a tutorial series of about 6 or 7 videos that teach you all about the counters and movement and attack and everything. Pretty good. I've been looking at those beside reading the rules too, because there's a lot to it, more than the other U.S. Civil War games that I play. So anyway, let's see, what am I going to do? I got asked a while back ago to do like a review of all of the war games that I own and played. Well, I looked them all up. I listed them all, and I had 43 of them. I didn't know how I was going to approach that because that would have been an all-day video. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to be doing it in sections, probably 6 or 7 different videos to cover them all. Here, what we got going here? Let's see. Yeah, I would suggest. Boy, I want to try to get one that's. I would just suggest that you look into. Go to Revolution Games and check theirs out because they are better, easier to play solo with because they're chit draw games. The rules. I don't know. I guess they're medium weight. That I would check that one out, and I was also check. Let me see if I can show you something here. I'd go to Tiny Battle Publishing and take a look at one of these in this series. This is the Shattered Union series game, or this one here, the Devil's Toupee. They play solo very well also, but instead of using chits, they use cards for activations. So I would start with something like that. Just looking to make sure I don't lead you in the wrong direction there. Yeah, for easy to play solo. There's a lot of other good games, but if they're not chit or card activations, they, then it's kind of like playing the best that you can for each side in that. But those ones there are better to play solo for you. How easy is Bleeding Kansas? It's funny that you asked that because I was just looking at that the other day. Bleeding Kansas is not. It's probably medium, okay? And Bleeding Kansas is one that, they recommend. It's a 2-player game. However, the designer, and it's in part of my first video that I'm going to be doing here soon on the war games. The designer says in that video, I can't remember the exact words right now, but he says when he was testing it, he played it solo all the time. So if you just do this or this or this, you would there. But it's pretty cool, and it's got a lot of history in it. So do those other war games I just talked about history. But Bleeding Kansas is got a lot of history in it, and this is prior to the Civil War. This is probably what started the Civil War. Was I think it was the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1860 or something like that. Revolution game and Devil to Pay is on Tiny Battle Publishing. For Revolution games, and then look and try to find one that doesn't have a big counter thing. Like if it's got 2, 3, 4 sheets of counters, I wouldn't recommend it. You start with one of those because then you're going to be moving a lot of counters around and it just gets more delicate. But find one that has at least a lesser amount of counters, and then most of the games tell you how many counter sheets there are. The Revolution games, that's called the Blind Sword system, and then there's the Shattered Union series that I just showed you. And then there's the Black Swan. It's even bigger. Immense. There's one game called a Most Fearful Sacrifice. It's got a board that's so big you have to have 2 tables if you don't have a good big one. By counters. Oh no, let me grab something real quick then. I left those boxes right here. You can call them pieces, but in war games they're called counters. And see, that's going to cause a glare. Let me see if I can take something out and show it to you. Okay, there's counters. Not the counters. It'll give you the type of manpower and their strength and so forth like that. But there's uh, some games have a tremendous amount of counters, and that makes it even difficult. This one here is not too bad. This is the doubles to pay one. It's not too bad. The 6 little bags or so forth. The rule book's not very expensive or expansive, and so just make sure you don't want to get one that's got like 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, because when they'll come on a board about like this. You got to punch them out, and there might be 150 counters per board or something. No, I'm Dyson Men. No, you're taking me off of the subject. When we do a talking about, that is anything that anybody wants to bring up and talk about. I have a few things that I'll bring up periodically during there, but you guys are more than welcome to bring up anything. J2, a reference to this one about Bleeding Kansas. I'm not sure if it's still available right now, to tell you the truth. That's Decision Games. You might want to check Decision Games' webpage for that one. No, Dyson Man, I'm glad to see is on there. Last month I didn't have anybody come up. I thought everybody gave up on me. I used to have a lot of mainstays that would come up on here, so something must be going on that taking them away from them, or maybe the time is not good anymore. Well, anyway, and the one about the war game reviews, I'm going to be doing about 7 different videos with 5, 6, 7 different, and I'm going to do a review. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each game, and I'll tell you where it's from, whether it can be found, how I thought it hard, or and so forth like that. But that was a request by one of the people on the channel that I do this. It's taken me a while to get to it, and one of the things I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do it live. Then if anybody's up and watches it on live, I'll give a notice. Watch for when I normally go live, I make a post and remind all my subscribers of that. So I'll put out a post and I'll say, okay, I'm going to be up live on Thursday and Saturday or whatever the day or time it was. And that way you'll know that I'm coming on to talk about the war games, because I've got the first one ready to go and I'm working on the second one right now. But I did say that. Let me see what we got here. Oh, okay. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you get a little bit confused, please use the YouTube resource. You're going to find a lot of guys out there that have made videos about just about every war game there is going, and have read the rules, then watching the video. Oh yeah, that's what that rule meant, and so forth. So it'll all come together a little bit easier. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Some of them can have a lot of setup. The one you were talking about, Bleeding Kansas, is not hard to set up at all. Just got a lot of cubes, and you're driven by cards throughout the game, and the cards have a lot of great history about what was happening in the United States at that time, why there was a lot of fighting going on in Kansas and so forth, and pretty good stuff. Yeah, the setup on some of them has driven me away from them too. I was just trying to make sure I didn't got you on the right ones. Then there's one of I don't know what area you're looking at. There's one that I just finished playing that I own, and it doesn't have a lot of counters, but a little bit of sometimes the rules are a little confusing. But the designers put out a couple of videos on it, and it's called Save South Vietnam, and it is a true solo game. Once you get the hang of it, the turns go pretty darn quick on it. Look and share. Oh, okay. Now I'll give you one more for solos on that and so forth. And I just did a couple playthroughs, a couple turns on this one here a little bit ago. So look at my channel, look up the other channel. This is Silent Victory. This the rule book gets a little bit complicated in a few places, but it's not too bad. And it's definitely a solo, and it's got a lot of thematic stuff in it. And you're out there in the Pacific over so many years. It gives you the stuff that you can. This is on GMT Games, and there's this one, and there's the Hunters, and then there's also one from Compass Games, Raiders of the Deep, and they're all designed by Gregory S. Smith. And so these are pretty good games here. Submarine games. There's other solo games I could point you in the direction of, but I don't really know what area you're looking for. Oh, okay. World War II is very interesting to you. Okay, then that's pretty cool. So the Hunters and Silent Victory are both World War II. There's another one for World War II that's not that hard to learn and does not have a lot of pieces to it, and it's called Pavlov's House. But I don't know if it's available or not. This is the second edition, and it's from Dan Verson Games. You can see on the back, it shows little pictures. This is based on the true events that happened in World War II in Russia during the siege when the Germans were taking the East Front, and that, where some Russian soldiers held off like regiments in this house here, and you get to play as them and move the things around and roll some dice and all sorts. It's a pretty cool game. I like it. In fact, it's called the Valiant Defense Series. Yeah, right. It did. It was around Stalingrad when was it Stalingrad or Stalingrad or Moscow? Probably Stalingrad. It was during the East Front, and it was Sergeant Pavlo, and that was, they called it Pavlov's House. And it's a pretty cool game, and it's a solo game, and there's some good videos out on that one too. Hey Phoenix, I was watching you play your baseball game a little bit earlier. And then you got me inspired to get a scorekeeper thing. So I've been looking on Amazon since I left you and lining up some things so I can keep score. I've had a few people ask me, like in the basketball games, I've had such close games at the end here that, I couldn't keep up with telling them the score all the time. So, some of they would like to have the score visualized more often. So I'm looking at one. Right now I'm looking at a digital one that's got a remote in it that, like, you can change the score with the remote. So, but I like yours. That's pretty cool. I don't think I missed anything else so far. It's really nice to have some people back on the chat today. And like I said, the war ones are going to come out live. First one will come out this week sometime, probably Thursday or Friday, something like that. Won't be in the time. Jeff Edwards is back in town. How you doing, Jeff? Thank you very much for stopping by. Good to see you again. This is the open discussion. We're just chatting about some of the subscribed people on the channel here. We're thinking about, getting into war games, but they didn't want to get over, and they didn't want to get into ones that were too complicated off the bat. So I was giving them a few recommendations And you guys got any recommendations on easy ones with low counter counts and everything? Please post it so these people can look at it. Yeah, I liked your scoreboard there. I just I think I'm gonna try one of the digital ones, and because I didn't I like to be able to change the score without having to reach up and flip a thing or that, especially in basketball because I'll be flipping so fast and that I like old school score books, easy on the eyes, cheaper. Yeah, well, I keep the score in the old score books too, but there's normally on my baseball ones you can see the scorecards pretty good, but not on the basketball ones you can't. And so knowing what the score was in these games, like I've just finished 2 games, I think it was only a 1 point or 2 point difference at the end. So it'd be much more exciting for the viewers if they can see what's going on right down to the wire there. Baseball and football or baseball, yeah, you can see the score sheets. Okay, what else I got there? Guys, got any? Just shoot, fire up anything you want to talk about. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I showed him about. I showed him the box on the Silent Victory, and I talked to him about Greg Smith. Well, there's a lot of good basketball games, but the one that I probably would be my go-to, and you're a Strat guy, so the Strat basketball one is a pretty good game too. So and the one that I normally my fallback go-to game is Status Pro basketball, but that's not it's by the Phil Graham version, which you can't get anymore. And the other one would be Replay Basketball, which I just published last week, a couple on Replay Basketball. Yeah, Replay that's really a good game. I just had 2 really great games. My Celtics got beat out 99-98 in the tournament, so they're eliminated. But I'll keep going with the tournament. What about the narrative? Well, it's telling the story. You're going to pick the name of a captain or a ship or a different type of ships at the beginning. There's a setup process of things that you're going to be do, and as you're going through there, and you're going to have your crew might take injuries, your ship might have to be repaired, you might get promoted, the crew might get advanced training and so forth at the end of each one. So it just builds up a story of your career and your crew's career. No, it's not like plays games, narrative based, rather than stats and numbers. It's just a story. It drives you a story of your career, is what it does. Or else, you pick one of the captain's names and see if you can do better than he did during the war, and your crew. You can go for that way, however you want to approach it. Okay, so more of a story versus something like Risk, which is just rolling dice. No, I don't think you're getting you're not actually playing a story. You're creating the story. Okay, you're creating the story by your choice of what you're going to have to make decisions. Do I want to attack this ship, or am I running out of ammo? Do I need to hold off? You're going to be making all of these decisions, and then you're going to roll the dice and get some results on them. Yeah, Risk is completely different than what we're talking about here. if you go up and on my channel, and there's a couple other on the other channels. I just recently did it, so it hasn't been too long ago. I did a couple run patrols on Silent Victory, and you can kind of see what's going on. Then you can see I'm trying to think of everything. You can see everything but the score chart that you got to keep all your tonnage in that by. But you can see everything else, and I think you would understand it better by just taking a look at the video. Yeah, no problem. And always willing to help people out if I can. I'm not the smartest gamer, but I play a lot of different ones. So I'm like the jack of all trades and a master of none, probably. Yeah, there's another one that I really like that's builds a big narrative, but it's got so many charts. If you don't, I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner, and it's called Target for Today. And that one's really builds where you're actually building your whole crew and you give the names and everything. And you're flying these missions and everything, but it's very chart heavy, and I wouldn't recommend that to anybody until they get used to gaming in general. Oh, I had the NASCAR race going on over there, and it ended. And I didn't even see who won. Oh wow! Any people NASCAR fans? No, Jeff. I did not mention Castle Litter because I don't have it. I did mention Pavlov's House, which was the first one in that series. Yeah. It does. You're right. It does have the play. You don't have a lot of the decisions to make in Target for Today because the charts are driving you in the direction. So you're right on that, Phoenix. That's why I wouldn't recommend it to a new player anyway. And I talked to them earlier. I talked to him before he just came up there. I talked to him about going to looking at Revolution's game, Blind Swords. I told him to look at Tiny Battles Publishing for the Shattered Union series. Oh, I like the Leader series by DVG, but I didn't recommend it to him on that because I kind of slipped on that. Tell you how I like it. I have B-17 Flying Fortress, Tiger Leader, Sherman Leader, Corsair Leader, Field Commander Nimitz, Thunderbolt Apache Leader, Gato Leader, and Phantom Leader, and Field Commander Napoleon. So that must tell you how much I like it. But I haven't played in a long time. I've got a couple things on Kickstarter with DVG, but then after I get those films, I'm going to go away from them, from DVG. They've been having, I won't talk about bad about anybody. It's my opinion that I don't want to inflict on anybody else. Yeah, in fact, last year I had a B-17 Flying Fortress, and I started a career with that one, and then I got sidetracked, and I had to put it away after a while. But that one that I just put a couple videos up on, that newer one that I have, Save South Vietnam, that solo game, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool game. Not hard to learn. There's a couple of rules that are a little confusing, but the designer actually put out a couple videos on and explain things about the game. And that's from Fortress Games, I believe it is. Yeah. And it's solo. And I have a couple videos out already on it that I've played a few turns. Yeah, Jeff, I agree with you. I'm giving it just some time before I make a final decision. Ever since Sarah come back, it looks like they're getting back into the right road. Trying to look and see what I'm thinking. Oh, so all my other ones are pretty big, or a lot bigger than that. I got a bunch of them by Worthing Publishing too. I have too many games, so that's why I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a video, and the subject's going to be more about me, but maybe other people. Am I a collector or a compulsive buyer? I think I'm going to do a video on that. To tell you the truth, and show what collecting those board games and music that I do now is not the only collecting I've done in my life. There's others, and I'll show it in the video to everybody. Don't forget to mark your calendars down there for the scrolling across the bottom the date, the time for the March question and answer period, plus the end of month report. Yeah, never too many. Yeah, the only I feel the same way. The only problem I have with that though is that then I start feeling guilty that I haven't played it. Okay, if I talk about my sports, like I talked earlier, I haven't had any of my Stratomatics out for a while. And I have them, and I've tried to change things over. Like right now, I'm doing a refresher, like I said, of Pine Tar Baseball, because I have it, but I haven't played it in a while. So I'm going to watch for that in the next, maybe in the next few days. The first one of that will come out. And like I said, I'm studying Hood Strikes North from Multi-Man Publishing. I've got 3 or 4 of their games, and this is the first time I'm getting it on any of them on the table. We'll learn, and I'm looking forward to it. But there's a lot of learning in it. But if anybody's interested, like I said before, there's a channel called Patrick's Tactics and Tacticals. I think something like that, tacticals and tutorials, and he does a lot of GCA CW games, and he also has a 6 or 7 part tutorial on how to read, how to attack and move and flank and all that stuff. Yeah, the Jeff, my first DVG, my first leader one that I ever bought was Phantom Leader, and I still like that one a lot. You know, I like B-17, probably B-17 Flying Fortress second, and then Corsair Leader. I'm going to break out again because I had a problem with Corsair Leader when it came out. I just had a real hard time grasping their concept on dogfights and how what moves this way or moves that way or moves that way. And I know some people have put out some explanations about that, so I might have to break that out again. I put it away when I got too frustrated with it, and then of course time takes over and everything else gets in the way of it. But that was I kind of liked it there. Sherman Leader, I haven't played much. Thunderbolt Apache Leader, I haven't played much either. I have played Nimitz, and I have played Napoleon several times on both of them. I'm just looking here in my notes to see if there's anything else I had made a note of about bringing up. Any guys out there, any people out there, music fans? You know, I put out that every Saturday, I put out a video of what I listen to during the week. And I normally listen to 3, 4 albums and a couple CDs during the week. And then I show the media and talk a little bit about each one and that. So if you're interested in music, check the Saturday one out. Oh, yeah. Somebody did ask me the other day if I was monetized. Well, there's a okay. Records and cassettes. All right. You know, it was the funny thing is I got rid of a lot of my cassettes. And last year or the year before, cassettes started making a little bit of a comeback. I was really surprised that they did, because I think the one that tipped me off that they were coming back was and I don't have any albums by her, but Taylor Swift released a vinyl, and it was on LP, CD, and cassette. I saw it in the store. And that's why I started looking and said, "Oh yeah, they are coming back." Oh yeah, somebody asked me if I was monetized. Well, there's a different variation. Okay, I want to tell you where I'm at. I'm at the part where you got 1,000 subscribers. And what that does for me, it opens up channel membership and super chats when you're live, and that so that's all it. That's all there is for it. You have to have a certain amount of watch hours before you can even qualify for getting the money that everybody talks about watching your videos and learning money in that. And I am not there, you know. And so I don't know, at the rate I'm going, I may never get there. But who knows? I didn't come on to if it happens, it happens. I didn't come to start doing this to make money. It's nice if just like if I was making a little bit of money to help offset the things of scorekeepers or new games and that, but I shall continue going on. Yeah, there. If you go into the record stores, there's always a section where there's used CDs, used cassettes, and used albums that are cheaper. But in all reality, I thought that forget what the price was for her new album. Her new album on cassette was like almost $20 on cassette. And I went, oh, that's pretty crazy. I still do have some cassettes. I didn't get rid of all of them, but I still have them in there, but I don't ever break them up. Once in a while, I did buy 4 cassettes on a whatnot auction one night, and the guy was offering a package of 4 cassettes by the Rolling Stones. So I bid on it for a couple bucks and won it, and they shipped it. I still haven't listened to all 4 of those, though. All right, what do we got going? What's some other good games we can recommend to these people out there? I want to recommend too many, and then they'll have them bouncing around trying to figure out what to watch. I think between us all, we've given them some good ideas right now. And please use the. I think that who was that asking me? Dyson meant use YouTube. What a great resource for looking up for war games and looking at them and saying, oh, I really, I don't think I like that. I don't think or I do like that. That's the primary purpose of part of my channel is when I do show you unboxings or I show you demos, playthroughs, and so forth, is for people to be able to make up their minds whether they like it or not prior to buying it and finding out they didn't like it. If it helps at all that way, okay. Okay, we're coming up on 40 minutes here pretty soon. Unless anybody's got anything else they want to talk about, we'll shut it down here in a few minutes. I really appreciate everybody coming on board. Because like I said, I came up last month and nobody came on. And I went, oh my goodness gracious, where did everybody go? Okay. So recap, I'm going to watch for the War Game Reviews series starting this week. That the first one is going to be the first of many that was requested on the channel. Thanks a lot, J2 Wolf, for stopping by. I don't know if Kurt has a live one at this point in time, but I think that right at 5 o'clock, I think Dave Gardner comes on, but I'm not sure about Kurt. I don't know if he's on right now or not. But so I'm always looking to see when they come on because I'll change my times. I don't want to, be conflicting too much. Yeah, Kurt does some good baseball stuff for you. Okay, Dyson man, thanks a lot. Keep us posted, keep us updated on if you make decisions on a war game, which way you want, Nat, and ask for help if you need it. Thanks very much for stopping by today. Jeff Edwards, thank you very much for stopping by also. Phoenix Knight, good to see you again. Keep up them good baseball games you got going. SoCalSabre saying, take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.